Hi guys, this video is very different than anything I've posted before. I don't know if it's quite a rant or something very similar to almost being a rant, but I wanted to talk about subscription boxes and how I think they're complete trash. Tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like in the last couple of years, subscription boxes have boomed and become a big thing, whether it's like a yoga subscription box or a spiritual subscription box or a fitness subscription box or a beauty subscription box. And for the most part, I can't wrap my mind around it in a way that it's a positive thing. For the most part, I feel like they are just materialistic gifts to yourself for your own external validation that lasts for maybe a few minutes. Open up something new and packaged and pretty and tiny and cute. You pay money to get basically a present to yourself so you can open it. So it's not even something that might fit you or be your style or even being like a shade of color that works on your body or your skin type. I think it's just like a huge reflection about how materialistic our culture has been. I can't imagine like having a subscription box to anything for a year and then just feeling guilty about having all these basically trinkets that I use to make myself feel good, and then feeling guilty for trying to get rid of these things that I've never needed to begin with. There's no way you need what's there if you don't know what's even in it. I could see where there's rare cases, or maybe you're a makeup artist or something and you get like a subscription box for makeup so you can try it on different people or see if you like a product. But I feel like if I was a makeup artist, I would want to experiment with specific products or something like that. But I feel like that's not the reason most people are using these types of subscription boxes. I see similar things kind of like subscription boxes happening too that have been like around a lot longer. When I needed to replace my eyebrow pomade thing after having it for 3 years because I ran it dry. So I went to Sephora and I happened to go the month of my birthday, and they're like, oh, you know, like here's a free like gift for you. You can either get this makeup thing that's not in your color, or you can get this setting powder to try out. It was like travel sizes and they're cute and small, and I ended up getting the setting powder because I really liked the jar and I wanted to use it for something else, but the way it was designed I ended up not being able to use it. But I feel like so often we're giving free things that we don't need to try to soak us into maybe buying something and that we never needed to begin with. I was just super curious. I wanted to bring this topic to people who are interested in minimalism, and am I crazy for thinking this? Am I not the only one who noticed this and think it's complete like hogwash? Well, let me know down below. Completely unrelated, I watched this documentary that's free on Netflix called The True Cost. Sorry if the camera's shaky, I'm sitting on my bed so when I move it moves. But in the video it talks about what goes into making really cheap clothing, how the clothing ends up so cheap, and it's basically like slave labor conditions, and it talks about all these things that I never thought about that goes into manufacturing. It's usually textile clothing. And a couple of things that just shocked me in the documentary was there's some farmers in Texas. There's an area called Lubbock, but it's basically in the middle of nowhere, and there's a huge incidence of a certain type of brain cancer in the middle of nowhere. And it's really weird, but if you look at the statistics, all of these farmers use a certain type of fertilizer on their cotton that they use to make these clothing out of, and fertilizer causes a lot of these people to have cancer, and that's why it's like a cancer center in this area in the middle of nowhere that otherwise wouldn't have something like this going on. And then it also talked about how these farmers in low-income areas were committing suicide in really high rates because they have a monopoly on the seeds, and so they sell the farmer the seeds and then they say, because you have these fancy seeds you won't need fertilizers, but then it turns out they still need the fertilizers anyway, so they go into debt buying the seeds and the fertilizer, and when they sell their crop back at the end of the season they don't make enough to support their family, so these farmers go out, drink a ton of fertilizer, commit suicide, and the death rates from these suicides are crazy high. Sorry, my camera just died and it was a huge ordeal. I was very like into minimalism before that, but I hadn't really considered what the true cost of materialism had been and how unsustainable it was and how harmful it was for the environment and to people and to rivers, and it's really terrible. So not only am I like minimalist now, I'm very like anti-materialism too, so that's probably where this is coming from. Mainly I'm curious to see what people who are interested in listening to minimalism think about this, so definitely let me know what you think of subscription boxes and freebies and free t-shirts. Free t-shirts is like a whole nother rant, but let me know what you think of subscription boxes down below. You guys will see another video from me soon. Bye.